Hey there, guys. Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween!
Hope you guys are having a great day and having a great weekend, actually.
Yes, it's fall is here. It's cold, and the time changes tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yay!
since we are in Ireland, this morning we had some hail and I guess there was a little bit of snow flurries
Yeah,
and yeah, it's quite chilly out. We had the fire on and everything, so that's kind of good. So,
yeah.
but let's see.
Good excuse to crawl up with the in a quilt and just kind of like chill or get warm. Try to get warm.
So this is the best that we could do with our costumes. I
What
have
costume?
the Edge of Sanity shirt and a little cap, and he has something orange and his homeboy hat.
Yeah, and don't worry, I've taken all my medications. I'm, I'm not gonna go psychotic. I could though, for an extra €20.
So I don't even know if people are even going out for the bars and stuff for this weekend, because this is the last weekend before the for the Halloween. Because isn't
Trust
Halloween on Wednesday or something?
Yeah, trust me, they'll do it this weekend. They'll do it during the week, and they'll do it during the weekend because party. It's always an excuse to party. Whatever. I grew up in a small town on the Oregon coast, and it was one of those things where it'd be sunny up to Halloween, and then on Halloween it would pour. So we my mom used to put makeup on and stuff. Of course, it would run like down like Alice Cooper and shit because of the rain. We were always soaked, and we get all this candy, and my mom would send us to bed, and we'd get up in the morning, and there'd be like 10 pieces of candy left. I don't know what she did with the candy, but we only got about 10 pieces of candy.
That's it?
Yeah, she would go through
Rather than the whole bag?
Yeah, I don't know what she would do with that. I don't know if mom and dad would eat it or what, or if I don't know, but we'd have all this candy and then we'd wake up and it would be gone. So,
Did you even dress up?
Yeah, yeah. I was Batman one year.
That was your favorite costume?
Yeah, I wore some Batman pajamas and put a cape on. I didn't have no Robin, so it didn't count. But but I was cool. But I was the cool Batman. The 1960s Batman with not the crazy psycho Batman that came along in the 80s and the 90s. The newer versions. But.
What do you call it from the only costumes that I can remember is that I was wearing. I think I might have been like maybe 10. Not was it 10? Maybe 8. I don't know. From Buck Rogers, the robot.
Oh yeah.
I forget the robot's name.
I can't remember either.
He goes diggy 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 diggy.
Yeah. I can't remember. All I can think of is danger, danger, Will Robinson's robot.
That's one of the. Oh, and I did Spider-Man too.
Did you?
As well.
I know when I was about 22, 23, I was young and I had a hot body, and I painted my body red and wore a red jockstrap and bought one of those cheap little pitchforks, and I was living in West Hollywood time, and they had a big, huge Halloween festival, so it was kind of cool. I did that. It was warm enough walking up and down the street. That was my big Halloween thing. Then after that, one year I went as I dressed up in drag sort of, and bought a wig, and when I put it on, I looked like a big fat Italian woman with a mastectomy, so I put it on.
Mm.
But yeah, but
yeah, like I've been watching. There is a live cam called DuvalStreetLive.com, I think. But I've been watching it through Vaughn Live.
Yeah.
And you get all these like different amazing costumes, and some are pretty bizarre, because you got the women. This is over at Key West,
Yeah.
and you got the women just wearing their shorts, not shorts, their thong, and only tapes around their nipples, and
Pasties,
they're
yeah.
yeah, they're just walking around like that. And the guys, I saw a lot of the BDSM costumes,
Mm-hmm.
with guys wearing thongs and the harness and all that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
and it's kind of funny. So for me, it's kind of funny because I didn't think that that they allow that kind of stuff down there.
Oh, they had a lot of stuff all everywhere. When I was in L.A. and stuff, they take over the streets and block the traffic. And yeah, I think in L.A. I saw the best costumes because that's where all the movie people work, and some of the costumes were actually amazing. But yeah, it was cool. Halloween was always just an excuse to party, and it was funny. I remember everybody always saying, "I can't believe Halloween's not a national holiday." Because it was an excuse to go out and party because they all had to go to work the next day hungover. But
I think
over here though, it's Guy Fawkes Day. It's the national holiday. They're kind of 1 to 2 days apart, so they're very similar. Very similar.
here in Ireland.
Yeah, here UK. Actually, Guy Fawkes is a UK thing because he tried to blow up Parliament or
It's quite big. It's a big thing here, dressing up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, then the bonfires.
The bonfires, I think it's like August or something
Yeah,
like that.
no, they do the bonfires for Guy Fawkes Day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Then they all get drunk and try to jump over the fire, and they catch themselves on fire and end up in the ER. Yeah, that's great craziness. Yeah.
I mean, I remember.
Woohoo! Fun.
I remember when I lived here before, in the '90s, they had these four people that they were dressed up in like I think it was like the 1800s.
Yeah.
With the white hair, with the bun and all that kind of stuff. With these great
You
gowns.
mean Marie Antoinette?
Something like that, yeah. And it was just amazing. Everybody was staring at them, and they were taking photographs and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just amazing.
That's cool.
I mean, I dressed up as 1 year as the Crow.
Oh,
From the Crow movie.
Yeah, from what's his name?
Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee. Bruce Lee's son.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Although my makeup was splat on there, pretty thick. I should have done it a bit better.
Yeah.
But time was running out, and we were heading over to the Fall River, where they had like fireworks and stuff like that, and all that kind of good stuff. So, and I remember it was kind of drizzling out too.
Really?
Yeah. And
when was this?
This was like in '98.
Oh wow.
In Derry, in Northern Ireland. So
I didn't realize that Ireland Halloween is such a big thing. When I was over here in the mid '90s through Europe, it really wasn't celebrated, but apparently up north here it is and was.
I'm not sure about Dublin or anything like that.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure if it's.
I'm sure that if they probably do. It's kind of spread universally now. In Mexico, they have the Feast of All Saints, which I think it is, it's kind of it's not real. It's not. It's similar to Halloween, but it's not. They all dress up, but it's more morbid.
Yeah.
It's like they carry around caskets and do kind of weird things like that. But
yeah, it's kind of funny because as we finished. This is back in the States, of course, when I was young and we were growing up, and in our teenage years, we didn't dress up anymore.
yeah.
We got to that throwing the eggs phase
Oh, okay.
at people.
We did the toilet paper thing for a
The
while.
toilet paper.
Clean toilet paper, not like dirty toilet paper. No.
No, but I don't know how they did it with the shaving cream inside the egg.
Oh, you don't?
No, I think it's you put a little hole in it or something like that. But
yeah.
then eggs are pretty delicate when you take out the egg itself and the shell, because it's pretty much delicate. And another thing is we had our we had our shaving fun as well, and the little squirty thing, that shoots out.
Yeah, yeah, the little. I
I
can't,
don't.
yeah.
I think they still do that
Oh,
kind
they
of
do.
stuff.
They do. They
Yeah.
do. You just have to be careful about having fire around them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Halloween was always fun. Um,
Oh my God! You know what? I remember that they used to. I'm like before anything happened. Anything bad for Halloween
yeah,
is that they used to what is it that they put like poison inside the open wrappers,
yeah, yeah.
and it's that was kind of scary time.
Well, you can also take needles and insert them inside. That would leave a very small puncture mark that a lot of people wouldn't.
They,
They used to, like razor blades and apples and all that kind of stuff, and crazy stuff. But,
that shit is kind of scary.
well,
You know,
yeah, there's crazy people in the world,
yeah.
crazy people though. But yeah, um,
I was thinking about some movies there now, and I was thinking about the time that when Poltergeist first came out,
yeah,
and me and my brother we went to the movies to see it, and I thought this was great because I I don't remember if it was my first scary movie at the theaters, but I think I might have been like 14 or something like that. But maybe a bit early. I don't know. I can't remember the age difference. With the dates and stuff like that. Because I think it was it 78
what?
Poltergeist.
Some reason I think it was the 80s, 82 or something. But I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think I might have been like 13 or something.
Yeah,
And they had this part where the guy was in the bathroom and he started peeling off his
yeah,
face.
yeah.
And I was looking away, and I could hear the music in the background, and it's and I turned away. I went behind my brother's shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Let me know that it's finished." And he says, "Okay, Brian. This is like about a minute or something." And he says, "Brian, it's okay." I was like, "No, it's not. I know you, and it hasn't stopped." So he goes, "No, really, it stopped." And I said, "Kevin, I hear the music." And as soon as the music or I can't remember if it was the music or if it was the electrical thing, the sound background, it was I think it was the sound background
It made
of
you
the
realize it was
electrical,
over.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how I knew, and then I don't know, I just suddenly turned over, and then he's like this here and everything, so I think I might have just
Caught a glimpse.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of because
Creepy.
when I first started
Creepy.
seeing him peel his face off,
Yeah.
it's the most goriest thing that I saw, and then it was it was kind of weird, but it turned out to be one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, I saw all the Friday the 13th movies up till the mid 80s in the theaters, but I went to go see the Friday the 13th, which I think was in 3D, and I saw it in Westwood, California, which is where you see a lot of the big movies. It's kind of a trendy area to be, or was at that time. And I went to the theater by myself, and I was watching it, and I turned around because they gave me these weird glasses, and the theater was empty except for this one guy sitting right behind me. It was really creepy. I don't want to say, get away from me, ooh, creepy. So, but anyway, that was the creepiest part because then I kept looking over my shoulder. This guy got an axe. It's like, what's gonna go on? So it was kind of fun. One of my favorite movies is Motel Hell. No one's ever seen it, but
Motel Hell?
Motel Hell. Look it up. These guests check into this hotel, and then they drug them, and they bury them in the ground, and slit their throats, and continue to feed them so they get fat, and then they hook them up to the tractor and pull them out and make sausage out of them, and they sell the sausage at the corner stand, and everybody in the neighborhood comes and buys this special sausage. Well, anyways, some hero comes along and discovers them. There's a lot of blood and gore, and anyway, typical thing. But it's a real low quality movie, but it was pretty fun. Some of those '70s movies were really good. The original Night of the Living Dead was creepy. They're coming to get you, Barbara. All that kind of stuff. You really need to see it. And actually, there's a lot of hidden eggs in the Walking Dead that are from the original Night of the Walking Dead and some of those zombie movies. There was one in fact this last week episode with one of the cars, but yeah, it was pretty cool. The remake was okay, and then the one with the radiation getting into the burning the bodies with the radiation. I think that was the third one or something. And then they were in a funeral home. With the young kids playing in the
The Walking Dead, right?
No, it was Return of the Living Dead or something.
Oh, Return of the Living Dead.
One of those, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was really gaudy and tacky, but it was fun. I mean, it reached a point where some of those movies, they're so bad they're good, And I love those type of movies because teenagers were always having sex, and right in the middle of some knife would come out from underneath the bed and kill them, or whenever the teenagers were having sex, they always got killed, So the message was don't have sex when you're a teenager, the hidden message, yeah.
That's another movie that kind of freaked me out was Prom Night.
Prom Night, I remember Prom Night.
And
that was another one in the early '80s.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the soundtrack was pretty good to that one.
Yeah, the music was pretty good there.
Yeah, and then there was the creepiest movie I ever saw, and don't send any hate mail to Brian on this one, but who was it? Michael Caine was a killer. It was called Dress to Kill, and he would dress up as a woman and kill these people. And I remember this one scene. He came out of the elevator with a knife. It's like ooh, creepy. That was the creepiest thing I ever saw. So at that time it was scary because he was dressed as a woman, and he was and very badly, but that was a scary movie. Another one called The Eyes of Laura Mars, which is another good one with Faye Dunaway before her career was ruined with Mommy Dearest.
Mommy Dearest, yeah.
I don't know why everybody hated Mommy Dearest so badly. I thought she did a good job.
She did a very good job in that movie.
I think part of the problem was there was rumors that she was very hard to work with, and she was a perfectionist. But there was The Eyes of Laura Mars, which was another one with killing models, and they're always like killing. And I don't understand it. Why is it these people trip? And this guy's like a mile back coming at them slowly, and they sit there and trip, and they can't get back up, and they're crawling in the mud and crying, no, no, no. It's like, get your ass up and run, girl. Like, God, what is it? It's like, I mean, it makes a good movie because they're all gonna die. It doesn't matter. But yeah.
All but the main actors.
Yeah. Do you remember the remake of The Blob?
Oh yeah, that was kind of corny.
Well, the original Blob was corny too, but yeah.
It was kind of. It's funny because there is a scene that I don't know if it was the remake of The Blob where they had the kitten on the step and the blob went over the kitten. Yeah,
and the kitten kind of got turned into got absorbed into the blob.
I started crying.
Yeah. Brian likes kittens.
Everybody
loves kittens.
I love cats. Yeah.
Another movie was I had it in my mind. Oh, The Fog. The Fog was really good. In fact,
that's another good CD.
They made a
soundtrack,
a series of it too, which is pretty good.
Did they?
Yeah, yeah. And I think the original had Adrienne Barbeau, which is a sex goddess of the '70s. I'm scared to look her up now. She's probably in her 80s or 90s because sometimes you just don't want to know what people look like now.
I think it's kind of amazing how there's like some before, like years ago, they never had a scary series. You know, the way they have a movie of The Mist.
Yeah,
So now they made a series of it. They
yeah,
have movies of the Scream. Now they have a series of that. You know, all these
yeah.
gory
Well,
series
I think they can show a lot more on television now
than they did before,
than what they
like years
could.
ago.
And they did horror TV movies, but they were really weird, tacky stuff like like the effects and stuff weren't that good.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. But like the movie Thing, for instance, the original Thing, you never really saw the thing, which made it really scary. But in the remakes, you see the thing, and sometimes it's more scary to not see it, to let your imagination. There's a lot of movies that did that in the 40s and the 50s, in the 60s, where they would actually show the woman's face screaming, and you never actually saw what the thing was.
I mean, I saw the very first one, like what is it, 60s,
Yeah,
and I saw it for the very first time about 3 months ago,
yeah.
and I thought it was really corny.
It's corny, but it's at the time it was scary. Because you don't have the effects, and they didn't have the effects. I mean, my God, they throw like rubber octopuses in the water and some around Ed Wood movies. I mean, they just didn't have the effects. But I remember every Friday or Saturday night, Elvira was on, and they would show weird movies. I don't know where they came up with these things, like Frankenstein versus Dracula and all these stuff, and the Dracula versus the Mummy, and they'd be going through the caves, and the Mummy was trying to help Dracula, and all these little weird combination of movies. Do you remember those? Like at midnight or 2 in the morning,
You know what really
right before the fat lady sang.
what really freaked me out is a movie called Salem's Lot.
Yeah, Salem's Lot. Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a good one.
and the very first time,
Was David
was
Soul in that?
I was freaking out.
Yeah.
I was freaking out the time where the bald vampire just went up like that with his one tooth. I just thought that was freaky.
Well, Anne Rice, supposedly they're doing a TV series on the Anne Rice books, which should be interesting. I think they're doing it next year, and it's a series, and it's going to include all the books and stick more to the original stories than the movies did. The first movie, Interview with the Vampire, was closest, but there was a lot of faults because Lestat and Lewis, they actually cried tears of blood, and there was a lot of stuff that they really didn't stick to, and Tom Cruise, of course, could never kiss another man, so but yeah, so that's coming out, which I'm looking forward to. It should be pretty good. Hopefully, it's done really well. I like the Anne Rice series books and stuff. Vampires, I think are my favorite.
The vampire ones?
Yeah. What was that other movie in the '80s with all the teen idols at the it's on the tip of my tongue with the in that amusement park in Palo Alto, California. Keith Sutherland was one of them.
The Lost Boys?
The Lost Boys, yeah. The music was really good in that too, but that was a
good
really
sound.
That was a really scary movie. That was a really good one. And it turned out
very well.
And it turned out that the one good guy was actually a vampire too. He was the head vampire. It was really creepy.
Oh yeah.
A lot of psychological stuff there.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not really a Halloween movie, but one of the best movies that I think for its time period, for effects wise and scariness, was, and I know people in Ireland don't like to mention this movie, but The Exorcist is really a good movie with the effects and the music and the story.
Especially back in the day.
Considering it was made in '73, yeah.
Was it 73?
Yeah, it was like 73 when it came out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and it's
I read the book when I was really young. I would have been probably about 9. I don't know. I read the book before the movie came out,
that was a thick book, wasn't it? A very thick one.
Yeah, but the movie for its time periods, the effects have really held up. I mean, it's not like Star Wars where they had to go back because it was so cheesy and the fact that they had to go back and digitally re-film all this stuff and
Yeah.
turn Jabba the Hutt from a man to a big blob, and things. And so, I mean, for its time period, it's really stuck up. And when you put that song on, the theme to The Exorcist, people look. When you play it, especially I used to have
Cell phone?
On my cell phone. I had a recording of it that would come on when I got calls, and I would leave it in my pocket and wouldn't answer it. And then when that theme would come on, everybody started looking around. It's like, what is the devil here? It just brings up that connotation. It's like I love, but I do think it's funny.
Yeah.
I know another one that's not really a Halloween movie, but Jaws. Jaws when it came out was really
I could watch
scary
that movie over and over
well,
again.
of course. What have you watched it 2,000 times? I know all the lines.
Yeah.
We know all the lines, and we can say them on cue. Oh, what? But anyway, but we've digressed. I mean, they're all scary movies. The scary movies don't necessarily have to be Halloween movies, but there's scary movies. But
Also,
Halloween was probably one of my favorite holidays. There I go again, holidays. It was kind of a holiday, even though it wasn't. But
also
it was a lot of
the
fun.
American, or not the American, the Amityville Horror. That was was pretty good too.
Which it turns out that whole Amityville Horror story, the original story, was faked.
Was it really?
It was all faked. It was. I can't remember why it was faked. Something. I don't even know if the original. I think the original murders did happen. I think, but the movie and the book comes. But the movie and the book are completely not real. I mean, the whole house thing being haunted and all that. It was all myth. But it was very well done that people actually believed and still believe that, that house is haunted,
Yeah.
But the one that I want to see is the series of the my mind went blank. That it's called Annabelle or something with the doll. The third one. The third one in the series of
Annabella.
Annabella, but it's the what's the name of the series?
That is, oh my god, I forget. I don't know. It's
It's
it's still with the doll, right?
It's the husband and wife detective. I think you can get it on Sky. You can watch it in the catch up,
but it is with the doll though, right?
Yeah, it is. It's about the doll, and it's about the the couple. For some reason I went blind. It starts with a C. I can't remember, but anyway, I do want to watch that.
Wait, is that not the Conjuring, is it?
Yeah,
it is a Conjuring.
I think it's the Conjuring. Yeah, it's the third one about the doll. Yeah, but see, sometimes to me, like the Sound of Music can be scary too. So,
Sound of Music.
because I'm sorry, life, those things it's just not real. I mean, the war is real, obviously, and the story is real, but I don't know. I mean, it's like, but me and Brian were talking about the episode in Star Trek with the tribbles. The trouble with tribbles, and they have these little toys popping out of everywhere, out of the ventilation and stuff like that. So, but when I watched it, when I was like 5, it was scary.
Yeah, at that age.
But some of that stuff is look back on it, and it's funny. But that's what makes the original Star Trek so good, and Gilligan's Island. Now, what always amazed me about Gilligan's Island was that every week they'd have like rocket men and people showing up on the island, but they'd always piss them off or something, and they would never take them off the island. It was kind of weird, but people think that show was on for years, but I think it was only on for 2 years. Of course, episodes.
Probably only 2 years only.
But see, now they produce like 23 to 26 episodes. Back then they produced like 50 episodes a year, so it's a lot more episodes. But I think the main thing that I do stick with now is
Oops.
The Walking Dead. I've stuck with it. The last season was a little. It was good, but it was kind of getting where you could sense that they had run to the end of the series, and then this new season they've really changed it, and it's a lot better. And I think anyway, I won't blow it. I think
Was
most everybody knows what's
which
coming.
do you
But
think is far better, Fear of the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead?
well, I think
I only saw a few episodes of the Fear of the
I
Walking
think
Dead.
I think fear they're both just as good, and in some ways, the Fear of the Walking Dead is a little better because they don't get caught up in the characters so much. They're constantly moving. And the Walking Dead, they seem to want to settle. They want to nest. It's like they've been in Alexandria.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They kind of stop here for a couple of years and stop here and. The Fear of the Walking Dead, they're constantly going, and it explains more, I guess, how they came about. It's in the Walking Dead, he kind of wakes up out of a coma and it's there. In the Fear of the Walking Dead, they kind of get into the beginning and all that. They don't really get into what caused it, but
I really don't know what caused it, really.
well, they haven't really got into that. One of the I think one of the original people that were involved in creating The Walking Dead have said that The Walking Dead could go on for another 50 years, not necessarily in its original form, but they can keep branching
Making
out
stories
from it.
Yeah.
And so, but the key is they hired a new director. I think it's Asian woman. I can't remember where she's from, but she's really shot some good energy back into the series and gotten back to the original concept, which made it interesting.
Yeah.
And so it's been good. And I can't believe it's going on 9 years and 10 seasons now.
That's right.
Amazing.
That's
It's amazing. And
a long time already.
yeah, I mean,
When it first used to be on Netflix, I used to watch it series by series over and over again.
yeah.
And now they stopped the Netflix.
But then the Fudgers, they put it on Hulu, and because Hulu bought everything out, and they're trying to make it huge. Well, you can't get Hulu over here because you can, but you'd have to do a VIP router and all that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You could get a Hulu. So, but Sky kind of wants to dominate all the control. So it's interesting because Netflix and Sky have a lot of the same programming. So in a sense, why have Netflix? Except for Netflix has it's not as good as the U.S. Version, but they still do have a lot of good television stuff that the UK doesn't have. The U.S. version is much better than the UK version, and that's the only thing that sucks. But anyway,
I don't know. I mean, like while we were together, I don't see the.
Was there a time when we were together?
No, like for the past.
It seems like forever.
No, I mean for the past 11 years, it's we really didn't get any trick or treaters. Come to think of it,
we did, but you kind of didn't answer. There's been a few years where we was Po, and I mean Po. So we couldn't afford to buy candy, so we just didn't open the door. Now we buy candy and nobody stops by.
Yeah,
I think
that's funny,
I think a lot of people aren't going door to door anymore for safety reasons. They go to like
when the lights
arenas and parties and stuff, but
when they're older, but
no,
when you're a kid,
no. What I'm saying is a lot of the parents dress up, but they take them to like like the school gyms, and they trick or treat in there.
Right.
So because for safety reasons. But I noticed last year there was kids out. We're kind of in a little and they call them estates here, but it's kind of a group of houses. So I think this year we may get some. Which reminds me, I have to buy a bag of candy that neither me or Brian like, because if we buy the candy, we'll eat the candy up before the kids come. So, so anyway, there isn't a lot of candy that me and Brian don't like. So, I don't like black licorice, so probably buy black licorice.
I don't like it either. I'll probably have it like once a year, but that's it.
See, black licorice kind of tastes like ouzo, and black licorice also has that same taste as Guinness. And I don't like dark Guinness. Now
Actually,
ouzo,
yeah, it does actually.
ouzo is kind of a dangerous drink. I mean, it really like messes with your head. But anyway, yeah, Halloween's always been fun, and I've always done it a lot. Although I haven't been dressed up and done it in a while. But I think
this is as good as it gets.
This is as good as it gets. No. Actually, it gets better. I actually like, but anyway, life is what it is,
It's kind of funny because back at when we were growing up, I mean, my mother, she didn't have much of to give kids, the sweets and the chocolate and stuff.
Yeah.
So we always had this big pile of pennies.
Yeah, that's a.
And we just throw it in there in their bags or whatever.
And they're like, "What's this shit?"
And that was like back in the 70s.
Well, see, when I got sick, my hands were curved, so I always used to go to Brian like, "Want some pie, little boy? Want some pie?"
That was scary.
I want some pie. Want some pie. I think it was from one of those, not the scary movie, but the spoofs.
It's called Scary Movie.
No, the spoof.
The spoof?
Yeah, the funny. Oh yeah, you're right.
It is
scary movie. Yeah, with
what's his name? I forget that actor.
He was a famous actor in the 80s and the 90s.
Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to him.
He did that movie Cabin Boy.
Is he still acting?
I don't know. I don't even know if he's still alive. I mean, he might be. I mean, he may be fat and balding.
That's the one that was in Home Alone, right? With Joe Pesci.
No.
That's a different guy, right?
That's a different guy.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I think he started on In Living Color, but I could be wrong. A lot of the things came out in Living Color, but yeah. But anyway, I think now some of the dumbest movies I saw was where Jason and Freddy, their DNA gets cloned and they're in a spaceship going to some kind of Mars prison.
I never seen that movie.
And they came out and they came alive and started killing everybody. Surprise, surprise, Yeah, it was one of the worst in the series.
Yeah, I never saw that movie, but I'm sure that it's kind of corny.
Freddy and Jason go to space or something. I think it was like, what, I don't know how many movies there is, like 200.
I don't know, there's a lot of movies
297,
yeah.
like Friday the 13th and stuff. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of them, but, yeah, so anyway, it's, well, I think we need to wrap this up, I think.
Yeah, let's just I don't know, tell the guys I don't know, tips, safety tips
for what?
For Halloween.
Sex?
No, Halloween.
Oh, Halloween. What kind of safety tips?
I don't know, safety tips for trick or treating. Don't go out alone.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
And don't eat the yellow snow if it is snowing.
If it is snowing, yeah. Don't go out alone. Wear bright clothing if you're going in.
Bright clothing, yeah.
And if you're going in areas that doesn't have street lamps, and if somebody drives by in a car and offers you candy, don't think about it. Just kind of go, run, and and the worst one, if a clown starts talking to you through a gutter, don't go near the clown. Yeah,
a lot of people are there afraid of clowns.
Yeah. I haven't seen that movie yet. I'm
the new one.
No, the new one. I'm kind of curious about it. There was the. I won't even get into it. But some of funny. Some of the funny fake pictures that came out of it was pretty funny. But a lot of people are afraid of clowns. It depends on the clown. There's happy clowns and then there's scary clowns. But then the type of person I am, I'm thinking I'm more scared of the happy clowns because they obviously aren't happy. They have to paint their faces to be happy. So what do they do when they're not happy? Kill people?
No, you want to hear something that's scary?
No.
Is that my sister, whenever she goes shopping and she sees a shopping cart going down by itself,
yeah,
she runs away from it.
Oh, because she thinks
it's going on its own. Yeah.
Ghost? Yeah. Well, you know. Yeah, life. Life. I think scary movies are one of the necessary things of that. It's that people kind of need. Sometimes you need to be scared so you can like let out a lot of anxiety.
Blossom.
Oh, that series? Yeah.
No, Blossom. Like
the series. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was scary.
Okay. Whatever.
What Blossom?
Whatever.
What Blossom?
Blossom into like you have to get used to your being scared. And
Oh
stuff.
yeah. Okay.
Growing up.
Yeah. How to deal with scary. But if somebody's scaring you, let's say a mugger, don't fall down and crawl around in the mud and say, "No, please, don't kill me. No, please, stop killing me. Don't do that. If you trip, get your ass up and run. Unless you broke something. Yeah.
Well, I guess it's
time to go.
Yeah, I need to start cooking dinner or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
It's going on 6:30.
Yeah.
I don't know what to have for dinner. Oh wait a minute, we have pork chops, right?
Yeah. No, it's chicken. It's chicken thighs.
Oh, the chicken thighs. Yeah.
Now speaking of chicken thighs, the scariest movie of all time was the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Yeah,
They made another one?
No, but the original one in the 70s was scary, and then the remake. There was a real campy one that was really bad. That was done was really awful, and then the rest of them have been pretty good. Those are another series of good movies. But anyway, it is time to stoke the fire.
Yeah,
so,
we're going to end this podcast. Okay. And if you guys are new, welcome. And which I should have done this before anything before this episode has started. But I hope you guys enjoy this episode and keep in touch with us, or we'll keep in touch with you on Twitter or our Facebook page. And and so you guys take care. So enjoy your day and be safe while trick-or-treating or whatever you guys are doing, and take care.
Okay, bye. Cheers. All the best.